has just been a really interesting year. Derek Carr's getting benched. The Indianapolis Colts are such a bad laughingstock that now Nick Foles is their starting quarterback. Tua's been concussed 3 times, and Russell Wilson got roasted by Patrick Starr on national television. This has just been the most interesting year we've ever had. 2 more weeks of the regular season. Man, this year flew.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
What is poppin', y'all? It is your man, Clyde Boyd Bales. Welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly Wednesday Predictions. I know it's pretty late when this is going to be uploaded, and most people will be watching this the next day. I had a very busy day of work and a lot of other things, so I honestly forgot to make the video. Like, I'll be completely honest. I kind of was about to go to bed, and I was like, oh my goodness, I never made the video. So I apologize to everybody that isn't seeing this until now. But it's been a very eventful week. We are to week 17. We are almost to the end of the season. It's going to the nitty-gritty. I mean, this is pretty much the week where we're either gonna find out who is really putting themselves in the position to win and who is not. And I think that it's a really big deal because anything can honestly happen at this point. So, without further ado, I'm just going to talk about the standings real quick because figured everyone got to know what's going on in this situation. So right now, Buffalo has the 1 seed, Kansas City has the 2 seed, Cincinnati has the 3 seed, Jacksonville has the 4th seed, biggest shocker of them all. In the wild card spot, Baltimore has the 5th seed, the Chargers, who finally clinched the playoffs. Thankfully, they are not a laughingstock this year. They may clinch the playoffs. And the last spot goes to Miami, even though they are on a huge slump right now. In the hunt right now is the New England Patriots, the New York Jets, the Tennessee Titans, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are all 7 and 8 and trying to get a spot. It's going to be a huge dead race, so anything can really happen here. For the NFC right now, Philly right now still holds the 1 seed with a 2-game, technically they got the 2-game lead over Minnesota because they have the tiebreaker. So if Philly wins, they get the bye. Minnesota currently has the 2 seed. San Francisco has the 3 seed. Tampa Bay has a 1-game lead over the Carolina Panthers, and despite being 7 and 8, still has the 4 seed. Dallas is 2 games behind Philly. They have now the tiebreaker, so if Philly loses out and Dallas wins out, Dallas will win the division and get the bye. New York Giants have the 6th seed and Washington as the 7th seed. In the hunt right now are the Seattle Seahawks, the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, and Carolina and New Orleans are still in the hunt despite terrible records because Tampa Bay has a terrible record as well. So it's still anyone's game. I mean, anything can really happen, but let's be real, it's going to be a wild finish. We're ready for this, and obviously there are 2 more weeks left of football to determine what happens in the end. So without further ado, I'm going to go over all the games, and let's get on with it. First matchup today, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Tennessee Titans. Dallas, they need this to win their division, but Tennessee, they have just been on a downhill. And now even without Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis, I wanted to see him do well in a game, but we just had not seen him do well in a game this year. There's a lot of room to learn for this rookie, so I'm going to say Dallas does win this game. I just don't see Tennessee walking out with a game the rest of the season with Malik Willis under center. Going on to Sunday, Arizona Cardinals at Atlanta Falcons, another tank bowl. Obviously, both teams have been eliminated, so this obviously doesn't matter. Honestly, this could go for a better draft spot from when I look at it. I want Desmond Ridder to get a win, so I'm going to say Atlanta gets the victory here. Next up, Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. Detroit got embarrassed by Carolina last week. Chicago honestly has nothing to lose. They'll just end up probably with the number 1 or number 2 overall pick. Likely that will be Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama, but who knows what will happen. But I say Detroit, if they need to get themselves into the playoff push, they have to win this game. So I will say Detroit wins. Next up, Denver Broncos at Kansas City Chiefs. Denver's not really playing for anything at this point. Kansas City wants the win. They want the bye. They are tied with Buffalo. Buffalo still's got the advantage, but if Kansas City wins and Buffalo loses a game, Kansas City needs this positioning. They need any chance that they want at the bye, even though it is a very slim percentage because Buffalo does play the Bengals, and I'll get to that game later. So I'm going to say Kansas City wins regardless. They think they should. Next up, Miami Dolphins at New England Patriots. Miami, 4 losses in a row. 2 has just been on a downhill slide. There's just nothing going right with them. Now he's concussed again. Teddy Bridgewater's going to start. Even though the Patriots have been absolutely embarrassing as of lately, I'm going to say the Patriots actually get a win here. I just think Miami is just falling apart right now, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I just don't see it. They just completely had it going, and now they just, yeah. Sucks to suck. I really don't know what's going on. Next up, Indianapolis Colts at New York Giants. I actually said New York was not going to win a game the rest of the season. But, yeah, they're going to win this one. Yeah, there's no way I see them dropping a game to the Colts. There's no way. All right, I mean, the Colts are the biggest laughing stock in the league, so for sure that's how I feel. Next up, New Orleans Saints, Philadelphia Eagles. I gotta feel like Philly should win this game. I feel like the Saints are still alive in the playoff hunt, but I think if Tampa Bay wins, they're done for, so there's nothing really to at least say. So I'll say Philly, I think, despite playing a great game against the Cowboys but losing, I think Philly has a home and field advantage. I think they got enough to beat New Orleans. Next up, Carolina, Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is going to They'll end it here. The Tampa Bay should be Carolina. Carolina wins again. That would just be embarrassing. Carolina would actually have control over the division if they win out. So this would be big for Carolina, but I just don't see the GOAT dropping the end of the season like that, and it just wouldn't be right. I'll say Tampa Bay wins. Next up, Cleveland Browns, Washington football team. Washington needs another win to get into the playoffs. They are still trying to fight for a spot. They got the current 7th seed right now. It's looking a little bleak, but I think, against an eliminated team like Cleveland, they should win this game. I feel like now that Carson Wentz is back, anything could happen, but I'll say Washington gets the win. Next up, Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston Texans. I'll be honest, every time I pick Jacksonville, they lose. Every time I pick the opposing team, they win. I don't know what's going on with that, but honestly, every time Jackson has faced Houston always wins. And honestly, I'm just going to say Houston wins this game because I've just been wrong every single week and it's been proving me wrong absolutely. So I'm going to say Houston wins because at this point, if I want Jacksonville to win. So I'm going to say Houston wins this game because of that. I know I'm stupid, but what does that matter? All right. San Francisco 49ers at the Las Vegas Raiders. They're somehow not eliminated from the playoffs yet, the Raiders, but they benched Derek Carr, which pretty much means they don't want him anymore at quarterback. Devontae Adams got screwed over. Jared Stidham starting the rest of the season. Yeah, I don't think Las Vegas really gives a crap about their season anymore. They know it's over. And even if Derek Carr was starting, I'd pick 49ers anyways. So yeah, 49ers win that one. Jets, Seattle Seahawks, both teams have kind of been on a downward spiral. Seattle's just been playing terrible lately. The Jets, well, they decided they finally moved on from Zach Wilson. Something they should have done a long time ago. The dude is garbage. And honestly, I think the Jets are better off trying to go for a quarterback in free agency because I think being in the middle of the pack, they're not really in the high of drafting somebody. But if I had to pick, I think the Jets have the better team right now. I think Mike White ends up starting, so I'm going to say the Jets win. Next up, Minnesota Vikings at Green Bay Packers. Vikings, yeah, let's just say they are overrated, but they're somehow still winning games in the weirdest way possible. That's exactly how the Packers were last season. But hey, anything could happen. But you know what? The Packers are the underdogs right now. They're trying to get into the playoffs. They got a home game here. And if I got to be honest with you, I'm going to go with Green Bay. I just think Minnesota, if Green Bay is really trying to put a position, they're a home game. Minnesota's been playing these close games and they're not coming through. I think Green Bay's going to walk out of here with a victory. I just feel it. They need this. So I'm going to say Green Bay wins this game. Next up, Los Angeles Rams, Los Angeles Chargers. You know what? Baker Mayfield actually is playing really good. I don't know what happened. He played so bad with the Panthers, and all of a sudden, he's on the Rams, and he's just showing off, and he's been playing outstanding. I have no idea what happened. But I feel like, obviously, the Rams are really not playing for anything at this point, so they shouldn't beat a team like the Chargers. It just shouldn't be if the Chargers already got advanced. And honestly, the Chargers are probably playing for nothing. I don't think Herbert will probably play next week because they really know they already made the playoffs, so they're not really trying to push for anything. So I'll say Chargers win just so they could get themselves a satisfactory win, but anything can happen. I don't really care about this one. Next up, Bills at Baltimore Ravens. That's a nice one for a Sunday night football game. Pittsburgh, you know what? They're trying for a playoff push, and I could totally see them winning this game. However, I just think Baltimore will still pull out the victory because Pittsburgh's offense has just been so underwhelmingly frustrating to just watch, and I feel like Baltimore will still get this victory. Finally, going on to Monday Night Football, Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals. This is a huge matchup, and it's a huge matchup because Cincinnati is only one game behind the Bills and the Chiefs. So if Cincinnati wins, they got the bye. So anything could happen. The Bills win this game, they still have the bye. They still have the possession of the bye unless. So Buffalo's going to probably drop to the 3 seed if Kansas City loses. So this is the biggest game probably late into the season of the year. It's going to be a great game. I'm anticipating it to be. If I had to pick between the two, I think Buffalo's been getting through with some great wins in the end, but I got to give it to Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati has been playing a lot better as of lately, and in all honesty, I'm going to go with Cincinnati upsetting the Buffalo Bills, and they will be the #1 seed going into the playoffs this season. Yes, they'll win next week too. They'll be the #1 seed. So, if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, if you like my content, please subscribe. We will see you next time.